Dear friends, this is my 8th video on NLTK series, that is Natural Language Processing Toolkit in Python. So I've already created 7 videos on this topic, so you can go through my YouTube channel. The first video was on installing NLTK and installing the supported packages, and then second was on tokenizing the words and sentence, third on removing the stop words, fourth was on the stemming, and fifth and sixth videos are on tagging and filtering, and the seventh one was on the sentiment analysis demo, and the eighth one, that is this current video, is on how to extract definition, parts of speech, hypernames and hyponames of the given word. So let's begin. So I am using PyCharm. So in PyCharm, the first thing that we need to do is we need to import the NLTK package or NLTK WordNet function. So let me do that first. From nltk.corpus import WordNet. So after this, the next step is we need to give the word as an input. So this word can be any word which we want to analyze. So for this example, let's take a word 1 equal to weapon. So weapon is the word which we want to analyze. Now the next thing that we need to do is we need to define an object called a scene array, or it can be any name you want. So we need to define an object with scene sets. So let's define an object called scene array of the word 1. So we are passing word 1, which is weapon, as an input to this one. So the object is created. Now we will see what are the contents of this scene array. So let's see scene array and enter. So you can see there are two different meanings to this word weapon. The first meaning is under weapon.n.01 and the second is weapon.n.02. Okay, so we will analyze one at a time. For extracting the first one, say we will consider WOI, that is word of interest 1, equal to, we will use scene array which is just created, and since we are analyzing the first one, so we will use the first index, that is 0. So in Python the indexing starts from 0. So now let's see what is WOI1. So here you can see it has selected weapon.n.01. So here we are analyzing the first one. So after doing this, we will analyze the second one. So now we can start analyzing it. The first of all we can find out definition. What is the definition of this word? So for that we can use WOI 1 dot definition. So if you start typing few letters, you will find that it is giving you hint on what it might be. So let's take this one and then press enter. So here you can see the definition of the first word. The first definition of the word is any instrument or instrumentality used in fighting or hunting. Okay, so this is the meaning of this word. Now we will analyze it further. We will try to find what is parts of speech, what are hypernyms and hyponames, and so on. So a lot of things you can do. So let's use WOI1 name. So name will be the same thing that we have given. So it is the same thing, that is weapon.n.01. Now let's see what is the parts of the speech, whether it's a verb, adjective, noun, and so on. So for that we need to use POS, parts of the speech. So here you can see it is shown by N. So N means it's noun. If it is verb, it will show V. If it is adjective, it will show as A. So we are able to identify that the word weapon is a noun. The next thing that you can do is you can find hypernyms and hyponames. You might have heard about synonyms, but then these hypernyms and hyponames may be new to you. But Okay, before explaining that, first let me use this command and then explain you what does this hypername means. Okay, for that I will use wi1 dot hypernym or nyms. Okay, so now the word is weapon and the hypernym of that word weapon is it's an instrument. So here it is giving you the larger picture of that word weapon. So weapon comes under the class called instrument, but then from instrument we cannot like instruments is the generic word for a weapon, but there can be different types of instruments which come under the category called instruments. So if you want to get a generic name for that, so we can use hypernames. So just like if you have a word called cat, so if you go one level higher, it would be like a cat is a living being or it's an animal and so on. Okay, so now hyponyme. So in hyponyme you will find the pairs of that word. So okay, so let me use that word or that command and then explain you what it is. Hyponyme. So in hyponyme you got a different words like bow and arrow, brass knucks, fire ship and so on. So these also like come under instrument and they are related to the word weapon. So in this way, in case we want to go one level higher, we need to find hypernyms, and if we want to find the pairs or the similar meaning objects or things, then we can use hyponyme. So we can try this with different words also. Okay. Now we will also see what all other options are available with this one. So for that what we do is we use wi1 dot and then it will give us lot of options which can be used. So let's see what we can use. Okay, let me use these examples. So this one will give me an example of that specific word. So when I say example, it means that how this word can be used in different sentences. So if I press enter, here you got an example. In this example it is mentioned that he was licensed to carry a weapon. So here this word weapon is used in a sentence. Okay, so whatever we have done, so we are trying to analyze the given word, we are trying to find the definition, the name, the parts of the speech, we are trying to find out the examples, find hypernyms, hyponyms and so on. So let's do the same thing with the second meaning of the word weapon. So for that what we need to do is, here if you see I have defined WOI1, that is word of interest 1 is sin array 0. So instead of that what I'll do, I'll just use WIO2 equal to sin array and 1. So it will take the second meaning. Okay, I will repeat everything again. WIO2 dot definition, it will give me a definition. So the weapon also means a means of persuading or arguing. So weapon can be used in that context as well. And what if I find the POS, that is parts of the speech, it is still a noun. And what if I find the hypernyms, hypernym, it's nyms. Okay, hypernyms. So here it is not showing any hypernym. Let's see if we can find hyponym. Okay, even hyponym is blank. Let's see if it is able to find the example. Okay, so he used all his conversational weapons. So here the weapon does not mean an instrument, it does not mean knife or something like that. Here weapon means, the meaning is a means of persuading or arguing. So you can do this for various objects. So here I have taken one example called weapon, but you can do it for anything. Let's take another example to make it more clear. So for this what we will do is we will take another example. say we want to analyze a word called cat, we want to find definition, examples, hypername, hyponym, and so on. So here I'm using the same example, but I'm making it more compact. So we are using wordnet.synset, and then we are passing the word called cat, and this cat can have number of meanings. So we are taking the first meaning with index 0. Okay, it should be synsets. Okay, now if I say WIOI, so it is showing the meaning word, the first meaning, that is the meaning is cat. Okay, the meaning is meaning of the word cat. Okay, so first what we'll do is we'll find the definition. Why it is not showing? Okay, it's a feline mammal, usually having thick soft fur and no ability to roar, domestic cats, wild cats, and so on. So this is the definition of the word cat. Now let's see the parts of the speech. POS. The parts of the speech is noun. Okay, now let's find the hypernames or examples. The example is not given, so let's try to find hypername. Hypernyms. Oh, sorry. Hypernyms. So in hypernyms, nothing is given. Okay, it is given as feline. So feline is the broader category under which the cat comes in. And let's try to find hyponyms. So hyponyms means the word object is a word which is related to the same category. So here you can see a cat can come under a domestic cat or wild cat and so on. So in this way we can analyze the given word using natural language processing toolkit, and this is the 8th video in the series. I'll be creating more videos on this topic. Please keep watching these videos. Thank you.